Good morning, Algebra. We're going to do, I think it's section 3 of chapter 10 today. It's called Operations with Radical Equations. Let me see if I can zero in here on the board. And we'll get going. Two basic things I want you to know. If I have 3 square roots of 2 plus 2 square roots of 2, you can treat those just like you would a variable or any other item. If you have 3 apples and you have 2 apples, you add those together and you get 5 apples. Okay? You don't change that. You just add the number of them to the other number of them and you get the total number. If you're multiplying though, then of course you change that. 3 square roots of 2 times 2 square roots of 2, everybody's being multiplied together. 3 times 2 is 6. Square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is the square root of 4, or it gives you 2. And so your final answer on that would be 12. So you treat multiplication different than you do addition, which I'm sure that doesn't shock you. If we go to, if you look in your book, example 3, why don't we do A and B there just as a sample. So the first one, 3 square roots of 2 times 2 square roots of 6. Well, I just told you that you multiply everybody. Numbers get multiplied by numbers, and variables or radicals get multiplied by radicals. So 3 times 2 is 6. Square root of 2 times square root of 6 is the square root of 12. And you might be tempted to think you're done, except we've learned that we can simplify this. So that can be written as 6 times the square root of 4 times the square root of 3. That turns into a 2. 2 times 6 is 12. So your final answer is 12 square roots of 3. Okay? So multiply things together, and then if you can simplify them, simplify them. Let's do letter B. It says 3 square roots of 5, and this is a distributive property, times 2 square roots of 5 plus 5 square roots of 3. So at first it might look a little complicated, but just slow down and think what's going on. This gets multiplied by that. And I told you numbers times numbers, radicals times radicals. So 3 times 2 is 6. Square root of 5 times square root of 5 is, either you can think of it as the square root of 5 squared, and that just undoes that, and you just wipe it all away. Or you can think of it as square root of 5 times square root of 5 is the square root of 25, which then you know is 5. Either way, you're going to get 5 here. And then this times this, 3 times 5 is 15. Square root of 5 times the square root of 3 is the square root of 15. Last thing you need to do is simplify there. So 30 plus 15 square roots of 15. There's no perfect squares inside of there that we can simplify, so we're done at that point. Okay, so I think it's pretty easy. There's going to be a lot of variations. If you're adding, remember that you add similar things. Like we could not add square root of 5 plus the square root of 3. Can't do it. That's like apples and oranges. But if you have 2 apples and you have another apple, then I bet you know that that's 3 apples. If you're multiplying, you multiply numbers times numbers and radicals times radicals. And then the last thing you do is you see if you can simplify anywhere. All right.